All right, let's get into it. If you're studying modern marketing, especially in those first few weeks, everything seems to come back to this one huge, game-changing idea. We're talking about a massive shift in how businesses think and operate, moving away from just making a sale to building something that actually lasts. So let's break down what that really means.
For the longest time, marketing had a super simple goal. The whole machine, all the ads, the sales pitches, everything, was pointed at one single moment, the transaction. The finish line was basically the cash register. Once a customer paid for something, well, that was it. Task complete. Next.
And right there, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? The old way of thinking had this massive blind spot. It just had no good answer for what happens next. What about the customer's experience with the product? What about their loyalty? Or the chance they might, come back and buy again? This one question just blew a huge hole in that traditional approach.
And that hole is captured perfectly by this simple but really powerful metaphor. I want you to think of your customer base as a bucket full of water. Now, what happens if that bucket has a few holes in it? This is what's called the leaky bucket theory. You see, old school marketing was just obsessed with pouring more and more water, that's new customers, into the top of the bucket. But it totally ignored the holes at the bottom, where existing customers were just leaking away because nobody was paying attention to them. You could be smashing your acquisition goals, but still be losing ground. It's just an exhausting and frankly unsustainable way to try and grow a business. Now this slide really lays out the two completely different worlds. Over on the left, you've got transactional marketing. The focus? Just a single sale. Contact is spotty at best, the timeline is super short-term, and service? Barely an afterthought. Quality? That's somebody else's problem down in the factory. But then look to the right. Relationship marketing flips every single one of those points. The focus is now on retention. Contact is ongoing. The timescale is long-term. And service becomes incredibly important. And this is key. Quality is suddenly everyone's job. So, the big question is, how do you actually plug the holes in that leaky bucket? Well, the answer wasn't just some clever new marketing trick. It really required a whole new way of looking at things.
And this is so important to get. This wasn't about, sending a happy birthday email or starting a little loyalty card program. I mean, those are just tactics. This was a true paradigm shift, a fundamental change in the entire philosophy of marketing. It was about moving the customer from being the end of the process to being the absolute center of it. This timeline shows that shift perfectly. We all started with the classic 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. Notice how every single one of those is from the company's point of view. What we make, what we charge. The shift to relationship marketing completely reframes everything around the customer with the 4 Cs. Product becomes customer value. Price becomes cost to the customer. Place turns into convenience. And promotion becomes communication. See that? It's a complete 180-degree turn in perspective.
So if you're going to build these long-term relationships, what are they actually built on? What's the currency that makes them work? Well, it really boils down to a few key ingredients. First and foremost, you have trust. This is the absolute bedrock of the whole thing. It's that feeling a customer has that a company will do what it says it's going to do. When that trust is there, customers feel way less risk. They don't have to waste mental energy wondering if they're making a good choice, which makes the whole process so much smoother.
Right after that comes commitment. And I like to think of it this way. If trust is passive, commitment is active. It's the shared desire from both sides to keep the relationship going. A committed customer doesn't just happen to come back, they actively want to. And on the flip side, a committed company is always investing in that relationship, which creates this amazing, powerful cycle of loyalty. And finally, we get to customer satisfaction. I love this definition because it's so precise. See, satisfaction isn't just about things being good. It's all about how the performance stacks up against expectations. If you meet expectations, that's fine. But real loyalty-building satisfaction, that happens when you blow past their expectations, when the experience is even better than they were hoping for. Now, this is where the whole idea of relationship marketing gets even bigger. Because it's not just about the person buying your stuff. It's about an entire ecosystem of relationships that a business has to manage to be successful.
A company that truly gets it is thinking in terms of 4 key groups. Of course, you have customer partnerships. That's the one we've been talking about. But then there are internal partnerships. Are your own employees engaged? Do they feel like partners? They're your front line. Then you've got supplier partnerships. Are you actually collaborating with your suppliers or just trying to squeeze every last penny out of them? And finally, There are external partnerships with agencies, regulators, even sometimes competitors.
This quote just sums it up perfectly. Relationship marketing isn't a simple two-way street between a seller and a buyer. It's this complex, multifaceted network. A modern business is sitting right in the middle of a whole web of relationships, and the health of that entire web is what really determines its success.
Okay, so this all sounds really nice, philosophically, but let's be real. Does it actually pay off? Let's look at the hard numbers, the actual business case for doing all this. What's the real return here? Let's start with what is probably the single most powerful economic truth in this whole field. It costs 5 to 25 times more to get a brand new customer than it does to keep one you already have. Think about that. That leaky bucket isn't just inefficient, it is incredibly expensive to operate.
And this shows you exactly how you get that return. The benefits just keep compounding. It all starts with higher customer retention. Then those happy, loyal customers give you free marketing through endorsements and referrals. And when you combine lower acquisition costs with that increased loyalty, it leads directly to a healthier bottom line, increased company profitability. It's a straight line from building good relationships to making more money.
So as we wrap this up, it really all comes down to this one question. It's a question for every marketer, every CEO, every person in business. Are you just focused on winning the moment, on making the single sale? Or are you playing the long game and trying to build a future? Because in the world we live in today, the companies that win are the ones that have truly mastered the art of the relationship.